The Elder Scrolls Online's newest chapter, Necrom, is on the horizon, and the other day I realized that I hadn't actually completed the final portion of last year's year-long adventure story. I figured now would be a great time to wrap that up so that I'd be all caught up for the new content that's in store for us. I actually played through last year's quests on the channel already. I rewatched these videos of mine the other day to remind myself of all that went down before returning to the story, and I have to say, those were some dank-ass videos. If you haven't seen them, definitely check them out. I love editing these kinds of gameplay videos more than any other kind of video, and I think it shows. Unfortunately, ESO gameplay vids just aren't as popular as gold guides or ones, you know? To spice things up with some of those videos, I started adding extra challenges to my playthrough. Things like, could I complete a questline by only using healer weapons? Can I complete a questline without doing any damage at all? So I was thinking, okay, what kind of challenge could I employ this time that's even more outrageous than that? Something that might turn this mediocre Year of the Breton narrative, I'm sorry, I'm just really not a fan of it, don't cancel me on Twitter please, into something more interesting to watch. Something that might actually provide a semblance of a challenge to the ESO Overland questing experience. Then I realized I was looking at the answer this whole time. Artemis is a vampire, which means she has access to the Bloody Frenzy skill. When toggled on, this skill drains your health in return for weapon and spell damage. It can stay active so long as I have enough health to be able to keep it on. With a little bit of tinkering around with an assortment of skills that provide health or cost health, I can make it so that Artemis's health is essentially chilling at 1% or even lower, while this skill stays toggled on, seeing as she has no health recovery as a stage 4 vampire. This means that if an ad so much as farts in her general direction, she will get game ended. While the skill is active, this also means that Artemis cannot be healed by anyone but herself, her pets, and her companions. So how about that, eh? Let's see if I can go ahead and complete the final quest to the Year of the Breton adventure with just 1% of my health. So here's what I'm thinking. Because this is an MMO and not a single-player RPG, I'm not going to go ahead and add a bunch of punishments for dying, the way other content creators might say delete a character upon death or something, for a similar challenge. I'm a sadist, okay? Not a masochist. What? Okay, how about this? For every death, I'll add 100k to some prize pool. By the end of the challenge, I'll add up all of that gold and give it away on my server to a lucky PCNA player, once this video is up on my channel. I'm also going to call upon my companion, Bastion, to help me out with this challenge, although whether or not he will actually be of any help is definitely up for debate. And I also removed all of his skills that could potentially provide me with a heal, seeing as I need to remain at 1% health for the entirety of this run. Okay, I think that just about covers everything. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and try to finish up this questline with just 1% of my health. Okay, so I realized that we might already have an issue here. So when you have barely any health in ESO, your screen gets all red and kind of distorted like this, for immersion or whatever. And I realize now that looking at this busted ass screen for the entirety of the video might be annoying for some viewers. So I'm gonna make a light amendment to my rules. Anytime there's a little roleplay scene being played out somewhere safe, or we're talking to characters or what have you, I'm gonna heal up so that we can watch the scene without the red filter. But anytime I'm actually playing through the content, like killing enemies or snooping through a quest instance, etc., I'll bring myself back down to 1% of my health. Okay, let's get started.
Zaji found you, I take it. Come.
The beginning of this quest was really quite uneventful. I mean, fair play, it's warming us up to the narrative. I was sent all over the place to talk to the Alliance leaders, and then eventually Lord Bucaro, who sent me to the Defor shipyards. Looking back at this footage has been pretty hilarious. You can tell I'm really scared shitless of getting hit with a singular attack, hence the busted ass Dark Souls gameplay. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh! There we go, first try. Oh, that's rough. Okay, start the counter, I guess. 1 death. Let's fucking go. Okay, so something that I learned from my last video was that you can command companions to attack things by holding down the Y key and then clicking your left mouse button. Yeah, that would have saved me a lot of grief in the last challenge. After finding what the heckin' dog was going on at the shipyards, I was prompted to return to Mandrake Manor. Then, this happened. Oh my god. That's right. I'm gonna have to be mindful of fall damage.
Fireclaw, terrible news! Lady Arabelle has succumbed to some unknown malady.
Oh no.
And wipe that expression off your face.
What? What's wrong,
But
Granny?
Poison, I should think. Right after you left, I received a package. My favorite wine. And a note of congratulations for saving the
No
Alliance.
shot.
I should
She
have known
drank
better
the
than
mystery
pour
wine?
glass, but the note was suspiciously vague about that.
And you still drank
I hadn't
it?
been tired of thinking about 12
Nah. I was then tasked with finding out where this sussy wine had come from. Who wrote the script? I was sent to chat with this dude who told me to go talk to this lady who sent me off to speak with this lass, and then I had to speak with this woman who finally was able to take me to where the goons responsible for this questionable wine were hiding. Just gonna sneak past these boys. Oh, that's right. I actually need to be mindful of where I step. Traps will definitely one-shot me. Okay, so apparently I'm f***ing blind. Bastion, is that really... Oh my... That almost gave me a heart attack. I'm sure that Zos intended for me to, like, game end this dude, but I'm not gonna. You can't make me, Zenimax. After finding a bunch of clues in this dank-ass dungeon, I traveled to Steadfast Manor and was told by Captain Marguerite that one of the items that we picked up belonged to none other than Lord Bacaro. Not Lord Bacaro! What are his possessions doing with the Ascendant Nah, unfortunately, I knew that Lord Bacaro was the Ascendant Lord from the first line of dialogue that he spoke back in High Isle. Not even 1 minute into my playthrough. It was the line delivery that did it. Honestly, there were a ridiculous amount of moments throughout the narrative that painted him as the obvious bad guy in disguise. So unfortunately, all of these little whodunit moments throughout the entire legacy of the Breton story were borderline insulting to my intelligence. And the intelligence of the other characters in the story, for that matter. But I don't know, maybe that's just me being overly critical. What did you gamers think about the villain reveal? Leave your comments below. Oh, also, if my health ever appears to be different across different clips, it's because sometimes things would heal me, so I'd have to tinker around with my skills to bring it back down to around 1%.
Oh my god, what's the Ascendant Lord's armor doing here?
You know what, I'm gonna walk down these stairs. See, I learn from my mistakes. We love character development.
Tell me what you uncovered.
Yeah, you're not gonna like to hear this, but... Yo, get out of the way. I'm not talking to you, man. What in the Cyrodiil targeting? Wow. To start the second chapter of this quest, I was tasked with making my way to Count Mornard's crib. He told us that there were imposters among us.
Come.
So we went to the library to grab the Druid King's crown before the imposter that is sus got to it. Unfortunately, the imposter secured the bag before we could get to it, and Stefan suggested that Bacaro was going to wield its power to become the new Druid King. I met up with the gang to tell them this most unfortunate news.
Zaji decided to wait out here for you, Fiveclaw. Yes!
Man,
Yes,
I love
Zaji
Zaji.
waited
He
your
just like
dying
me,
wish.
for real. Is that... SCL? Oh girl, what have you gotten yourself into? Okay, something tells me I'm gonna have to be real careful in this place. Get his ass, Bastion. Oh, what the frick? Good thing I told him to go first. Alright, Bastion, go ahead. Yo, what the? Aw, come on, man. Alright, looks like I can't girl boss, gaslight, gatekeep my way out of this one, fellas. Man, I should have equipped a bow front bar for this. Whoa, relax, dude. F***ing calm down. Okay, I'm gonna try that speedrunning strat again. That worked quite nicely. I made my way past perilous pools of lava and destruction to an unskippable encounter. Here, I just made Bastion do all of the work for me while I quietly sat off to the side and considered my life choices. Why did I make myself do this? Again? Why was I still here? Just to Oh, come on. What? Did my pinky toe touch the lava or something? Bastion, what are you? I made Bastion hit this lizard the second time around, with a little bit of help from me, of course, since he almost got exposed. Free told me to step into this fart cloud that she conjured up, and the power of it chucked me across the map. Lord Bacaro flexed this neat polymorph that he got from the Crown store, and then I had to face off against the avatar of Mount Firesong. I unfortunately got shitted and farted on by a singular light attack. And then again when my cloak wasn't working at all. Hello? Is this Cyrodiil? I popped an invisibility potion to see if that would work, but forgot that it heals me, so I game-ended myself to reset the fight. I resorted to behaving like the average Cyrodiil pug by roll dodging excessively with 1% of my health, and found that this strat worked out quite well, although it was absolutely terrible on my sustain. Then Bacaro was basically like, this isn't even my final form. Then he blew up. And yeah, that's how the story ended. Just kidding, could you imagine? What? Nah, I was not even standing on any lava. Don't lie to me like that, Zos. Bastion, what? Oh my god. Alright, Bastion, take it away. Hello? Okay, so I'm pressing down Y and the left mouse button, and he's not doing anything. Maybe if I aggro him, he'll take aggro? Or not? Okay, Bastion won't hit him, so I'm gonna just try to learn what his mechanics are. Okay, now you get your ass over here. I see how it is. Oh my god, the delay. I was spamming my roll dodge, dude. Okay, so this must be the second phase, or whatever. Yo, how long does this attack last? Holy! Oh, man. Actually, I think I'm supposed to interrupt it, aren't I? Bash, 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 bash. What? Oh, what? Okay, that was just straight up desync. I was dead before he swung his weapon. Oh, invisible attacks. Nice. Okay, so hear me out. I love PvPing in ESO. Yes, this is relevant, I promise. But something that really unfleeks my eyebrows is anytime I die in PvP because of something that is entirely out of my control. And I know that sounds like the typical PvPer cope, right?
It was the lag, bro. I swear I would never be killed by another player otherwise, because I'm the best PvPer in the game.
But unfortunately, there really are a lot of frequent bugs that occur when PvPing. Your bar won't swap, your ulti or your potion won't go off, your health gets desynced, you can't break free despite having a full bar of stam, the list goes on. And when these bugs start to pile up during a singular play session and they start to result in a lot of deaths, I usually call it for the night, log out and do something else. I'm just not interested in getting defeated for reasons that I can't really do much about. Dying fair and square to other players, or even getting zerged down, that's fine, I can learn from that. Dying to bugs? I mauled. So while I definitely got my ass handed to me by this final encounter multiple times, and many of those times were entirely my fault, like when I failed to roll dodge in time or ran myself out of stamina, I was also dying a lot from things that were kind of out of my control. Not to mention the fact that Bastion was bugged out and wouldn't attack the boss, and I was instantly getting pulled out of stealth, so I couldn't rely on that class ability of mine to buy myself a moment of respite. I implemented this challenge to this questline to make it more fun, and for the most part, it was. Suddenly, traversing through dangerous caves full of enemies and environmental traps actually posed a threat to my character, and I was much more immersed in the world because of it. It reminded me of playing Skyrim and snooping around the dungeons there, with the threat of one wrong step resulting in an insta-death from a trap looming over me. I did not add this challenge as a means to bang my head against a wall and hope that one of these tries the game would actually work as intended and not bug out and kill me unfairly. My patience for that kind of tomfoolery is very limited, mostly in part from my experience with PvP in this game. So after a couple instances of me dying to some goofiness that was out of my control, I totally gave up and went ahead and killed Lord Bacaro with more than 1% of my health. I know, disappointing. I'll go ahead and double the amount of total deaths that I had to add to the prize pool, alright? Settle down. Once Bacaro was finished getting exposed live on YouTube.com, Free sacrificed themselves to become the new mountain spirit and contain the eruption, saving the day for us all.
But that legacy isn't crowns and gauntlets. It's people. Born of
The legacy of Bretons is people?
It's magic, druids,
I don't know
and
about that
knightly
one. We bid free farewell. I was sent on another god-awful quest that had me porting all over the place to talk to people and convince them to attend the peace talks, and then the peace talks finally commenced. I found it interesting that all of the alliance leaders were basically like, yeah, so we kind of want peace, TBH. Like, my brother and Auriel, you are the alliance leader. The grand legacy of the Breton adventure ended the way basically all DLC stories end, in a throne room with people gathered around celebrating the happy ending. The end. So, can you complete an ESO quest without taking any damage? Probably. I'm really not the right person to be doing these challenges, man. I got pretty close in that final fight, but dying to bugginess and lag in a quest instance made me mauled pretty badly, and I'm not trying to be bald before I'm 30, you know? While playing with basically no health is a bit excessive and honestly pretty goofy, I will admit that this was the most immersed that I had felt in the environment in a while. It reminded me of when I was a brand spankin' new player, and I was literally watching guides on how to defeat the main ESO questline. Yeah, the one with Molag Bal, because I was scared shitless of dying, and I actually found the content to be pretty challenging at the time, as an absolute scrub. I think that's the role player in me that gets like that. So this was pretty fun. Next year's Shadow over Morrowind story is receiving a lot of hype, and I'm hoping that it'll deliver. I'll definitely be playing through it, although I like to do so without any goofy challenges, just so that I can take the story more seriously. I wasn't really a big fan of the High Isle and Firesong stories, so the silly challenges gave me more content to work with. But that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed editing it. If you enjoy this kind of ESO content, definitely check out my other gameplay videos and subscribe to the channel if you'd like. Thank you so much to my YouTube members for going the extra mile and supporting what I do, and I'll see you gamers in the next video. Until then, cheers.